Good morning, GOA Fishing. It's Kevin Greif here. It is 5:40 a.m. on the first day of lobster season, mini lobster season here in Marathon, and we are up and at 'em early. We rose up before the sun, and I'm sure we're gonna stay out late today. I got a crazy suntan going, got the whole crew, got Sarah and Hallie in the back, Lacey and Oliver with me up here in the captain's chair. And we are not the only early risers. It looks like there's 6 or 7 other boats heading out, the same exact idea. Hopefully they stay around here because we've been diving Marathon for the last couple days and have not seen a single lobster. So we're actually going to head up to Layton, where we've had luck before in previous years, and see if we can limit out early. That would be awesome. If we can catch that morning slack tide and just do really well early, we can just play the rest of the day. But if not, it's going to be business for the hot hours of the day, which, you know, isn't always the best, but hopefully we'll be able to make it. But it's perfect, slick, calm out, beautiful morning, lots of birds, lots of wind, and we're gonna get after it. So we'll see if we can limit out. I'll get some footage of lobster. I'm set today. I really want to get a fish on the spear gun. Like I said, yesterday was my first entry into that, and that was pretty cool. So hopefully today I'll be able to identify a good fish, a good size, and get a keeper. But we're gonna get underway here, and you're coming along for the ride. We are out here. It's about a 35-40 minute boat ride up here, but we are in Layton and we are out at the bridge, and we are just waiting for a slack tide. It says it's going to be about 7:30, and it's about that now, so it should be any minute now, but it's currently ripping pretty hard. So crazy hair situation going on until I get in the water, but you guys will have to put up with it. Water is absolutely beautiful, and the visibility is going to get better as the sun comes up, but right now it is just ripping current, so we're holding off until things slow down a little bit. But we're here, we're in the spot, ready to go, geared up, and hopefully we, like I said, maybe we limit out this morning. We just get to play the rest of the day, get to go look for some fishing spots or something else to fill the time. But either way, it'll be a great day. We'll have some fun, and hopefully everything goes our way. See you underwater. I just want to get it out of here. It's okay. It's all right, bud.
Can you just grab my antennas?
Try to grab it.
Oh, I don't want to. I meant with gloves. Can you just try it?
No, they'll break off. I think he's gonna be short.
I just need a picture of you with it.
Just short. There you go.
First one, a little short.
All right, so we got in, and the current was just ripping. I don't know why, but the Simrad and the Garmin were both off with the low tide and the slack tide by like 2.5–3 hours. It's now just starting to slow down, and when I was in the water, it was unbearable. I mean, there was so much sargassum grass coming through that it was getting caught on everything. All my gear was getting tangled up, and the current was wild, and the visibility was really low. The sun was still low in the sky, so we didn't have a ton of light down there. So we actually just kind of repositioned ourselves and anchored up here and dropped a line so that it's actually gonna land me. If I'm holding on to that line, kind of towing myself, it'll land me right under the bridge, which apparently is where they're all hanging out. James and London were just down with scuba gear, and they said they saw some big jewfish and some hogfish, and that's what I'm after. So this might be the spot for the spear gun. I'm gonna get down there and see what it looks like, and if it's really good, then Sarah will hand me the spear, and hopefully I'll be able to take a shot on something. But I'll report back in a few. Got to get in the water, get wet, and see what's down there. All right, so we are underwater, and you'll see some really pretty angelfish coming by, and I spot some mangrove snapper that just swam by. This is going to be my first shot at a fish with this spear gun, and it was not the best shot in the world, but I definitely did make contact. And you'll see a couple times in this footage that I'm actually kind of paranoid about sharks, because when I bought this spear gun, I was told by a guy at the dive shop that a lot of these bridges hold big bull sharks and big tiger sharks and big hammerhead sharks, and that they've kind of been not trained, but that they're definitely used to the sound of the bands of the spear guns firing, and that is like a dinner bell for them. So I'm typically going to be grabbing that shaft as quick as I can and pulling it up out of the water and making my way to the boat, just so that I don't have a struggling fish at the surface of the water. And long swim over to the boat. Definitely a little bit nervous first time, but made contact, and just really happy to have a fish there. So if you can look through my bangs that are coming over the camera, you'll see I go down again, and just tons of fish down there. But I really underestimated how difficult it is to zone in on one fish that is of size. And I really, I want to be sure about my shot. There's a lot of current, so every dive isn't a dive that I'm going to take a shot on. So I'm just making my way back out, now from the boat, and again, just using the current to kind of get me where I need to be. But you can see it's pretty murky. I'm already a little bit nervous about sharks and big predators coming through looking for easy meals. But I'm just keeping my eyes open, and I'm looking around to see if there's anything swimming by. And James is actually looking for lobster, but he keeps seeing fish that I might have missed. So he's kind of pointing out to me where something might be. And he says there's a hole on one of the other pilings that's holding some hogfish, and that's what I really, really wanted. I'd been after them for probably a half an hour now, looking for them, and just hadn't really located one. Saw a lot of mangroves, lots of parrotfish, but no hogs. And I intentionally left this in. You'll see I'm about to let that go. Yep. And it because my hands were so waterlogged, I let that band go prematurely, and it actually just took all the skin off the side of my finger. And here I am just kind of assessing that damage to my hand, and it was super painful, but I'm trying to grab the piling there and hold on to some structure just so that I can take a look. And I'm going to try again here, be really, really careful, obviously having just felt that band take my finger with it. I'm being really cognizant of what I'm doing. And now I'm loaded back up, and I'm going to head down and try to take a shot on some mangrove snapper that James spotted. He says there's a big hole here, and like I said, he's down there anyway looking for lobster, which is perfect because he's spotting fish. He's pointing them out to me. So I'm going to get a big breath here, and I think James actually follows me down. He kind of just wanted to see the shot if he could. I'm looking for the right moment here. Take a big breath, and I dive down, and I'm already seeing a huge school of mangroves. Big angelfish comes up, and took a nice shot, and I was able to scoop that fish up pretty quick. Not the biggest fish in the world, guys. These are like, 12, 13, 14-inch mangroves. They're not huge, but I definitely wanted to get some time behind the gun and, just get used to spearfishing in general. It's kind of a nerve-wracking thing to be shooting these fish and, I'm literally diving under bridges that I watch on Shark Week, where there's huge bull sharks, nailing, struggling fish at the surface and scaring kayakers. So it's definitely in the back of my head that there's some big predators here. And we're actually, I think, about to take another dive down here. And one actually spooks me. You'll see in the left-hand corner there's a massive Goliath. And you can tell it's big because there's two other Goliaths that come by that are just, tiny. They're actually big fish, but they're, juveniles in comparison to that really, really big one that had just swum by. But those big shadows underwater, they can be really intimidating if you don't know what's coming. So heading back down, I did see another fish underneath of that ledge. So I'm going down just one more time to see if I can identify what else is down there. And it's just a bunch of Goliaths under there, big collection of them. And obviously you can't take shots on Goliaths. So I head back up, trying to see what else might be around this piling. I'm really not seeing much. So I just kind of swim around. Again, just hanging out at the surface. There's a little bit of a platform underneath of me, so I can, in some cases, get my foot down or get my fin to kind of support my weight. And I can kind of wait there and just see what swims by. And it's really those schools that I'm looking for so that I can, hone in on a bigger fish and follow it. But with the water as murky as it was this day, and with all the current that was coming through and the sargassum grass, it was just one of those things where you kind of have to work with the circumstances you have. You can see there's a lot of sediment in the water. It's just a lot going on. So I'm just being patient, and I'm waiting for my shot, waiting for the right dive. And here I'm taking a dive down. And again, you're going to see a ton of fish. They're just, completely carpeting the bottom here. And one makes a perfect presentation, and I just drill him right through the head. And it was actually a really great shot. Again, I'm new to this, so, somebody might say otherwise. But for me, to have a nice headshot like that and to preserve the meat on that smaller fish was a nice trophy. So brought him up, and this is actually the fourth one. So I'm about to go throw him in the box, and we've already got some success. All right, so I'm hopeful you guys saw that shot underwater, but here he is. Nice 13-inch mangrove. Beautiful fish. It's number 4 for the box, I think. So we'll head up there now, get up to the orca. And I'm actually filming on my mask camera. So if you see my snorkel flopping around, that's why. Number 4. That's a good sized fish. There's not a bunch of huge ones down there, and they scatter pretty quick once I get down there, but a lot of fish. And we are finally at sort of a slack tide where we're just kind of chilling, which is nice. But I'm gonna take a breath, get back down there, see if I can find a hogfish. That's what I'm after. So we actually decided to head into some calmer water to let the kids do some snorkeling, and I figured while I was over there I would swim around this rock pile and see if I could locate some more mangrove snapper or some dog snapper or schoolmasters or anything that I might be able to take a shot at. And you can see there's a big school of mangroves here, but again, just a little bit smaller. And I'm sure that some of these were, keeper size, but I really just didn't feel like taking shots at smaller fish. And, we already had 4 in the box, and I just wanted to eat fresh fish, didn't really need a ton of extra. So it was really just, more watching these fish and following them, seeing if they would take me to something a little bit bigger that might be worth shooting at. And, really just taking my time. The water was super warm. The kids were having fun. And I'm popping my head up occasionally just to kind of make sure that there's nobody around and that I'm not, pointing this spear gun at anyone inadvertently. And, Also looking for boats as well, because there was just so many boats out this day, and I was a little bit worried that if my head was down too long that I might miss something dangerous. So just trying to stay aware, but making progress through the water here, and really didn't find anything. So ended up switching back over to the net and the tickle stick, looking for lobster. And they were everywhere. I kept seeing them when I had the spear gun in my hand, and finally I just kind of gave up, went back to the boat, and grabbed what I needed to catch some lobster. You'll see this guy, he's a little bit undersized, so I let him go, kind of push him away from the rock that I was working because I didn't want to pull him back out. And they were really like every rock. It was just, they were everywhere. It turned out a lot of them were, certainly undersized. So fun to catch them, fun to pull them out and, take a look at them. But a lot of these guys were a little bit small. But, this is all new to me. So I'm just kind of practicing and getting used to their behavior and, what I need to do with the equipment and, placement of the net and, how to use the stick and all that. So this was good practice, and it was super shallow. You'll see it when my head pops up here. I'm literally in the mangroves, which is kind of cool anyway. Just there's so many neat, aquarium fish that I'm seeing, and just being like right in the environment that these animals live it's kind of cool. Most people don't get to do this. So I was just kind of enjoying it, swimming around, Here I'm grabbing one, and I think he actually, he's about to make his way further under the rock, but he ended up going to the other side. I'm gonna follow him over there, tickle him out with that stick, and he goes straight into the net, which was what I was hoping for. His buddy actually comes out as well, and I try to net both of them at the same time, but they both honestly are so undersized that it's not even worth it. And this net itself, it's not the best, and it's not one of those neoprene kind of or rubber coated nets. So the spiny lobster really just get tangled up in it, and it ends up making a total mess. See, now I got that second one in there, but I kind of just decided to let that one go. This one's worth measuring, but you can see he's about one rib off, so not quite there yet. And I ended up, letting him go. Maybe he'll grow a little bit and I can pick him up next year. But you can just see the volume of lobster here, in this warmer water in the shallows. They're just everywhere. And I'm sure this is kind of where they, use this area as like an incubation period in their lives where they're kind of safer. There's not as many predators around. And, every once in a while they just have to worry about a guy like me coming and messing with them. And here's a perfect example of one of these lobsters just getting totally tangled in the net. And I'm just trying to work him out. It's funny, when you get a keeper-sized lobster, they always find their way right out of the net and they disappear. But these little guys, for some reason, they get stuck, and you have to spend a minute or two untangling them. But I definitely wanted to make sure he got off safely and that he survived. There he goes. And I'm back to it. So you can kind of see here how shallow the water actually is. I mean, I'm on my hands and knees, kind of just like pushing my way through this water, but it's about a foot and a half. And these boulders make it look a lot deeper than it really is. But that's kind of why I'm there in the first place. Just tons of places for these lobster to hide. And I had actually, I popped my head into a couple holes between these rocks and seen some grouper. Of course, I had already put the spear gun away, so too late to do something about that. But this was just a really cool place to kind of move around and get the kids in the water and give them a chance to see how we were, getting these lobster out. And it was just a good learning experience for everybody. So here I'm just making my way down the line of rocks and looking for those antennae. You'll see I'm just kind of using the tickle stick as like a
a tool here, kind of scraping underneath and seeing if I can feel any hard shells. And there actually was one under there. So I think this was a situation where, again, just learning, but the placement of the net was not the best. You always kind of want the net to be behind the lobster, not in front of them. And typically, if they're gonna exit the cave that they're in, or exit the rock that they're under, whatever structure they're using, they're coming out back first. And I really should have kind of moved myself and leveraged that tickle stick from the front here, but instead I kept trying to, push it underneath the rock, just outside of the camera. Luckily, he did turn around. He did go right into the net, but, I think it might have been better to go at it from the other direction. Again, this guy's just a little too small, so let him go, kind of pushed him off into a different direction. Now, this is a totally different area. We had actually made a move because we just weren't getting any size there. But this was a really cool spot, super clear, and this is what we had been looking for all day. And just started poking around, and bam, one popped right out, and he actually ended up being a keeper size. You'll see here I have no gloves on, so I'm about to pass this over to James so that he can use his tool and get a hold of this guy and check him. But he did end up being keeper size. And, this was just a pretty unique spot. I mean, we were just riding around looking for something like this that we hadn't hit already. And we were lucky enough to find this little ledge that had grass on top. And, underneath there was maybe 3.5, 4 inches of space that these lobster were just kind of working their way under. I think at this point we're in like maybe 12 to 15 feet of water, so it's not terribly deep. But you'll see James make his way down there. I think there was another one that he had saw a minute ago, and he wanted to go grab that one. And he got it. I think he just barehanded that thing. He didn't even use his net at all. And he is going to measure that guy. Nah, he was too small. So he lets him go. I'm going to make my way over to the boat. And unfortunately, I got to wake Sarah up from her nap. She's on the boat with Hallie, who just kind of had enough. It had been a long day, and rightfully so. She was just exhausted. So making my way over that way now. It always feels like the longest swim when you only have one hand and you're fighting the current. But geez, the water was so clear. It was beautiful. I could swim in this water all day. Almost back to the boat. Give Sarah a holler and see if she'll put this thing in the live well for me. So I'm gonna pop up through the tuna door here, and you can see Sarah is out. She is just enjoying the sunshine and keeping Hallie company. But she pops right up. She is a trooper. She is an awesome partner. So she helps out. She thinks she's going to use that bait net, but nope. I don't think she's ever grabbed a spiny lobster before, so this was the first time I'm trying to explain to her just how rough they are. So she ends up using a towel because I'm obviously holding the net, and that worked out pretty good. So she's going to throw him in the live well. And I told her, just really shut that thing quick, because they do. Sometimes you'll put them in the live well and they'll just jump right back out, and they're really, really fast. So she hooked me up there, and I'm getting pretty exhausted. So I think I'm calling it quits here. And this is actually Lacey and I later, we just decided to try one more time in some shallower water. We ended up coming across this tube that was like halfway buried, and I think it was like 4.5, maybe 5 feet long. So you'll see me reaching my arm inside of it, but there was absolutely no way to reach the lobster. I think there were maybe 5 or 6 of them in there, and as soon as I would put my arm in one side, of course they would go to the other side. And I've got Sarah and Lacey in the water. They're both pointing them out for me. And it was like this, it's like this game. Every time I would go down, I was just chasing the lobster from one side of the pipe to the other side of the pipe. And, it wasn't really until now I think I'm going to grab on here and just kind of hang out for a second, reach my hand in there. And I think they actually just get irritated enough that some of them just bail on this pipe altogether. I think maybe they just see that I'm being persistent and they kind of run out the other side of the pipe. Luckily, I did have spotters. So Sarah and Lacey are keeping watch. And you'll see they're actually pointing them out right now. They're saying, look down here. And, once these lobster do stir up a lot of the sediment on the bottom and they stir up the sand, it becomes really difficult to see. So having a spotter on the other side of that pipe was crucial, because I would never have seen this. So they pointed them out. I went down. And again, net placement is like everything here, because these guys are so fast and they're so good at avoiding. So just putting the net right behind him. And, he ended up not being quite big enough. So I measure him, but it was more just for fun, getting Lacey out there. She's 9, and, for her to get out there and find them and spot them and get some exposure to them, it's awesome. It's just something most kids don't get to do. So we're about to head out.
Well, it's a mission accomplished. We are back, and it was a long day. We got off the dock at 6:30 a.m. before the sun, got all the way over to the bridge like I showed you guys, and we got in the water and spent the majority of the day in the water. And it's been a pretty awesome day. We got 4 mangrove snapper on the boat with the spear gun. I was able to shoot a couple mangroves, which is awesome. To some that's not much, but to me that was really fun. And got the kids in the water. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, they got some snorkeling done and we got them tired, so hopefully they'll sleep in tomorrow a little bit. And then on the back of the boat, that's my situation. If you were able to see that, we got 6 lobster on board as well, so we'll have good dinner tonight. But overall, it was just a day of fighting currents, and luckily the waves were pretty flat. Everything was pretty favorable. Lots of weeds came through with the current, which made things a little difficult. We were filling up our nets with weeds and kind of getting caught in it, but overall we had a lot of fun. We're all pretty tired, so we're gonna head home, get the boat cleaned up, grab some coffee, make some dinner, and wrap our day up. Get ready to do it all again tomorrow. So hopefully today's footage turned out really well. Hope you guys enjoyed the trip out there, and we'll see what we do tomorrow. Should be another adventure. All right, we're back home. We'll see you shortly. So we had a pretty awesome day out lobstering. Got a bunch of lobsters between James and I. And James is about to clean them, so figured I'd get that on video. Got a mangrove snapper carcass out on this rod here. We've seen a whole bunch of sharks come through, so we're hopeful to get something that the kids can pull on tonight. Let's go see these lobster.
Just took this one of those stingers fell off. That's okay. It's not a stinger. Antenna thingy. Oh, those are my gloves. What is that? Is it?
Oh, you're one of Mr. Bean's lobsters.
No.
It's only fair now that he can.
Look at this one. He's got a bubble. Can I see? I'll throw it in. You want me to do?
You gotta kiss it first.
Can you video it? Oh, did you video it?
Yeah, go ahead, toss it in. Do a good toss.
I kissed the lobster. It's half the lobster. Do this guy next. Why? I want to see like. How they pop it. Bubbles unpoppable. How does this go? Where's the head? Yes, here's my second. This guy doesn't really need it. Where's the second glove? Is this your glove?
Grab the tail, squeeze it tight, twist it. Twist it hard.
Can I try after him? There's plenty more to go. Ow! One of the spikes went through the glove.
Good job, bud.
Can I do one, Daddy? Can I throw the head in on the next one? We should name them all.
We should not.
This is gonna be Big Bob. No, Billy. This is the
Well.
biggest one.
That's pretty much it. Just gonna be twisting lobster heads off and tossing them in the water, and then we'll get those on ice and get some good recipes and put them in our bellies. So that's pretty much it. That is the day. We're putting a cap on it. What an amazing vacation so far. We got a couple days left. Tomorrow's gonna be another big day out on the water. So I think we're all gonna probably pass out soon, but appreciate you all watching. Please like, subscribe, and continue to be a part of the channel. Thank you so much.